Hi again, everybody. This is our third gathering on a Saturday-ish time for me in the Pacific Northwest. And Eugene, Oregon, it's 11 a.m. or a little bit after. And welcome to all of you from all the places that you are calling in and connecting in from. I wanted to start today with our map because I think it's super cool. I have it on the screen. And what I wanted to show you is how you can adjust you if you wanted to put you more specifically like where your city is. Don't put yourself on your house and street, please. But some of you I just plopped down in the middle of your country. And so you may be, your little marker may be very far from where you are. So over here on the left side is the list of us, and I think I got it correctly alphabetized by our first names, and then I put our location where we are in the world next to our name. So if you wanted to, for example, I'll do me, and I put me as a heart, not because I'm any more special, but I figured we needed a heart on this map of light, and since I started it, I figured that would be okay. So if you click on yourself, it will pull up your little thing. So if I click on somebody else, it will pull up your little card there, or whatever, your little pop out. And so if I wanted to edit mine, I can go, there's a little pencil-y tool, and I can edit it, so then I can change anything I want there. And when I save it, this is kind of fun. There's a little style thing, a little paint box. And when you click on that, you could change your color. I've got us all yellow at this point. I'll even make my heart yellow because we're lighting up the globe with our prayers. But if you felt like you were some other color you needed to be, you could be that color. And then there's also little icons in there that you could make yourself. So there's a whole bunch of them. If there was something like, I think maybe right now I'll be a moon. Why not? Okay. So now I'm a moon, and I'll be a blue moon. Once in a blue moon. There we are. So that's how you can change yourself. And then if you're not on the map and you want to add yourself to the map, like let's say, where would be wonderful that we call someone in from? Let's say we've got someone coming in from Brazil. And so we click on this little tool up here that has a little drop. It says add marker. And then you click on the place on the map, and there it is. And then you can edit it. And so this is our friend. Can spell our friend in Brazil. And then we save it. Then once we save it, that's when we can go in and edit it. So I can make them yellow, I can make them a moon, I can make them arrows, whatever. Now, the last little bit about this little Google Map tutorial is that your name gets dropped at the bottom of the list here. And then I will later, or you can then bring it up to O's for our friend, right? But we don't have our friend here, so I'm gonna, until someday we pull someone in from Brazil, I'm gonna go ahead and delete that one. So that is the Google Map tutorial, and I encourage you to use it and put yourself more accurately where you are. Would be wonderful. And put yourself on the map if I haven't gotten you on there already, and have fun with it. I think that as more and more of us register for the circle, the brighter this map is going to get. And, you know, I think there's about 145 people in the Google group and about 125 people who've registered for our call. And we're having about 20 to 30 people show up each week. So I think that's really amazing. And people are still popping in here. So let me get them in. Okay, so let me switch to our other slide and we will officially start. Thank you for your tolerance while I went through that. And here we go. Okay, so there's our beautiful, precious earth that is so amazing. I'm going to start like I've done the last 2 times with this prayer, this honoring. So just find yourself where you are. Take a deep breath. And I need my glasses. I apologize. Okay, there we go. In gratitude of the directions, east, south, west, north, above, below, and center, we are honored with this opportunity to co-create in this place. In gratitude of the elements, air, fire, water, earth, akasha, we are honored with the building blocks that provide foundation. In gratitude of time, past, present, future, we are honored by the ancestors, the now, and the descendants. In gratitude of the makers, mother, father, God, and all the names, we are honored with this opportunity to experience the gift of life. In gratitude of the guides, teachers, divinity, nature, archetypes, allies, we are honored with the wisdom, understanding, and opportunities. In gratitude of ourselves, our hearts, our minds, our bodies, our souls, we are honored with the chance to serve the highest good of all. So our agreements, it's a safe space for all of us, no matter who we are, operating from a place of love, where we can build our collective and diverse prayers for this planet, for ourselves, for each other. It's not a place for our stories and like, oh, the other day, or I did, or whatever, but really just a place to sink into hearing the prayer, feeling the prayer, and then if you're inspired, speaking the prayer. No judgment. Everybody is welcome here. It's cooperation and global community, and this is being recorded for to post on the Facebook for other people to benefit from. And the format that we've settled into, suggested, this may shift a little, maybe next week, I'll tell you more about that later. Raise your hand, you all have a Zoom hand and you can raise that, or you can type your prayer in the chat box and then I can speak it. If for some reason you're having a hard time finding your hand, that's fine. I'm gonna wipe my tear. For some reason my eye is being stingy at the moment. So there we go. So raise your hand. Again, you have a way to do that within your Zoom box. And Julia, I see you just raised your hand. Hold on just a second. Oh, she was testing maybe. And if you want to test that up and down your hand, you're welcome to for a moment. If you have a prayer to offer, 3-ish minutes. Last week, I didn't feel like I had to time us because we were really staying within that without me needing to keep the clock. But if we begin to go really long, then I may keep us within that 3 minutes, just so that there's a chance that anybody and everybody who has something to share has that chance. Say your name first and where you are in the world. Hi, I'm Zahra Indigo, and I'm in Eugene, Oregon. You're encouraged to offer your prayer in your own language and from your own tradition, if that speaks to you, and from all of us, from our heart, regardless of our language or our tradition. The prayer is about speaking from our heart. If I'm using timer, then you might hear some chimes to let us know that the time has come to a close. So that's that. And each week before we've settled into the offerings of prayers, we've just taken some heart breaths together. And I put a framework of the heart breath up on the screen, and I'll just read it briefly. And when we're done with the heart breath, we can continue to breathe this way together throughout our call. And when you're ready to offer your prayer, raise your hand and I'll open your mic for you. I think that might be just the easiest way. I'll unmute and mute everybody as we go. So find yourself again where you are, in your room, in your house, outside, maybe some of you. Breathe deeply into your heart center. And breathe out love. Notice the heat, the flame, the warmth that animates you. And as you focus on that place, how that love grows. That heat grows, that flame, that inner heart flame glows as it grows bigger. And now reaching down through all the layers of our precious earth to the very core of the earth, to the heart of the planet, we breathe up all the wisdom and love and knowing that this earth has from its eons of existence. And we breathe that up through our base into our heart, where it mixes and mingles with our heart's own glowing essence. And you breathe out love. And then you notice the air around you that's contained within the room in the house under the sky, and the sky within this vast cosmos. You reach your attention to the very heart of the cosmos. However far it is, it's right there above us. And from that place, we draw down through our crown all that vast intelligence, that vast wisdom, that knowing from eons of existence down through our crown into our heart center, where it mixes and mingles with our love and the love and wisdom of the earth, bringing us fully present, fully here as human beings on planet Earth, on this day, at this time, sharing in the way that we share. And so we'll just continue to breathe this way. And when you're ready to pray, raise your Google hand or your Zoom hand, or offer it into the chat box. And I'm going to quiet my mouth and open my ears. So Percy, I see that you're raising your physical hand. So I'll go ahead and unmute you. Just a moment, please. Let me find you in our list. Just so you know, I don't see everybody on the grid unless you're speaking, because there's quite a few of us here. So if you need me to unmute you, perhaps let me know in the chat box as well. And Percy, you are unmuted. Go ahead and offer your prayer. Thank you. Okay, Percy, if there's anything else you want to add into this moment of beautiful breath.
Um, no, I feel very full. I'm I don't respond as well as to these as when I raised my hand. I wasn't positive what that meant. I preferred silence, just giving and getting, giving and receiving my love from everything around me, giving to and receiving from. And I kind of just felt very much at one with everything. I feel it's a good to just take this moment and settle in to my deepest heart and kind of realize that, like it or not, every other heart is in sync in some way, even though it looks really like they're not. There's various levels, so I'm relating as much as I can to the level where we are in sync, to follow the Dalai Lama's request that we be the change we wish to see in the world, which it seems insane to some people, but I can't be concerned with that. So that's what I have to add.
Thank you, Percy. And just for all of you to know that there is no right or wrong in this, right? That if you raise your hand to have that space, that it's however you want to offer it to all of us. Okay. And Maria, I see that your hand is raised and I'm unmuting you. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Hang on one second, I got to the wrong screen. Okay, hi. I am so grateful that you're doing this. I'm so happy to be here. And I made it to the first prayer circle and wasn't able to get on the second one. I lost the email, but I'm back. I re-registered and here I am. Last time I had wanted to share the vision that we created at the Egyptian Mysteries Retreat in 2016. I thought it was really relevant. I couldn't find it. I finally tracked it down, so I'm going to share that with you. As a group, we came up with this vision. We are creating a loving and creative world by holding space, by showing up, sharing wisdom, and by saying out loud to people, I love you. We are we are teaching about the sacredness in all things, standing up and expressing our voices and communicating to the world how they too can create this for themselves. We are helping to organize this new world. We are out about our beliefs. We honor the body temple so we can be an example and inspire others. We provide a platform where others can express themselves and feel safe to contribute, most importantly, by holding space. We are listening and hold alternative possibilities as valid contributions. We are grateful for all the blessings that life gives, even the hard ones. That is my offering. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. May it be so, may it be so, may it be so. And it is, and it is, and it is. Anita, I see your hand is up. I have unmuted you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Maria. That was beautiful. And I kind of want to take something that I wrote. It's not exactly a prayer, but I think that it can be sort of a prayer. I was inspired, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, of course. And it was done on April Fool's Day. And it doesn't begin here, but what if we were to turn on the news this morning and find someone of leadership capacity who was about to make an announcement with the teleprompter rolling across the bottom of the screen saying that this was happening in every country, every language, all at once. And with our full attention captured in unison, they would cry out, April Fools, we gotcha, everyone. Okay, Okay, I know that's just wishful thinking, especially that every government official would ever agree to do anything with like-mindedness, regardless of topic or reason. And yet, would it could be true that proof that the pandemic is nothing more than a colossal April Fool's joke, and that there had never been any version of a virus ever created by any source or any reason? I do wish it could be that simple. Okay, I know it is not and never will be that simple, nor that COVID-19 was ever a fantasy or ever existed on any reality now or ever. If only mankind will simply learn the greater lessons that this virus is here to teach us, regardless of whether of it was making any sense or not. All I want, and I think everyone else does as well, is to wake up today and be able to join the silliness that should be ours across the land for just one day. Alas, there is a bright spot, however. Regardless of the virus running amok across the globe, we still have the positivity of turning the pages of our calendars and knowing that Mother Nature will stay her cyclical course regardless of all else. Yes, April means spring is just around the corner. Looking at my calendar this morning and then outside at the brilliant sunshine breaking over the landscape, I remind myself each season, spring, summer, autumn, and winter, will not be deterred by the horror that has fractured and stalled human lives and plans. My musings have been more negative than positive lately, but knowing that spring is only days away, I can feel better. I can feel more positive. I look for the blooming flowers, budding leaf trees, hundreds of Twitter-pated squirrels, chipmunks, and other wild critters that are not bothered by a pandemic or knowledge thereof. The excitable chittering birds are seeking to find nesting places to lay their eggs. All this positivity provides a brighter spot upon the rest and even on my thoughts. Like so many others, it all seems bent toward the negative and darkness of living entrapped by the dangerous virus and need to remain, albeit something I used to love, and now I prefer not, simply because I'm being told I must. Yet I choose to change that and become more aware of my musings. After all, they are mine to control, and I have the ability to control only what I think, choose to do with my housebound time, and whether I will allow it to control my life now or forever. We are stuck in this great pause. And so, happy April 1st, even though it's a couple days late. All my fellow fools who are wise enough to find the funny regardless of the clouds cloaking our skies, for they are temporary things that cannot be long. For example, Set can only keep blowing sand in our faces for as long as his breath lasts, but the fire and light cannot be extinguished, only blocked by virus. Take that and be gone. Give me a break. It is April Fool's Day, and the Festival of Thoth, not Festival of Thoth with lunch, wine, wisecrackers, and cheese. And so I offer that as a sort of prayer of positivity, that we can take that kind of energy and we have the power to send that together out across the globe and raise the vibrations that are so in danger of being so weighed down by the fear. This fear that controls us if we let it, and only if we let it. So thank you. And I hope everyone enjoyed a bit of brevity and frivolity, perhaps, for one day, if not more. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Julia, I see your hand is up. I am unmuting you now. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm Julia from Orkney in Scotland. yesterday, I had to go to the hospital with my husband, who's a diabetic and has an ulcer in his foot. I went thinking he had a temperature, and went thinking he had some sepsis or something, and there was blood. There was a bacterial infection in his blood, but they also said to assume that we also had the virus, the coronavirus. So today, he's quite ill, and I'm feeling quite down. So I'd just like to ask you all to pray for us today, and hope that everything turns out good. Well, it will. What will be, and I'm happy to go with that. But we just need a little bit of strength. So, and I'd like the prayer to go out to all those people who are suffering with illness just now and with the coronavirus. And I really pray that this virus turns into something that is harmless, that doesn't affect any more people. I really pray that. And I pray that throughout all of this virus carry on, that we'll all come out so much better and feeling so much fresher and so much cleaner, even in the air and in our bodies and the way we feel about life in general. I pray that this virus just opens up like the light in us and that the light around the world, so that everyone can see what matters the most in life, and that it's not material things, it's not anything to strive for, to reach for. It's really just to connect with the being inside of us, who we truly are, and that person to connect with everyone else, our neighbors, the plants, the birds, the trees, the air that we breathe, because it's all part of who we are. And I pray that this virus wakens people up, really wakens people up to see the beauty that lies within each of us and within the whole world, and spread that beauty and that love all around the planet. Thank you.
Thank you. Who else has a prayer? It's funny, Kalita. I was just thinking, I wonder if Kalita has a prayer, and then your hand came up. You're unmuted. Thank you.
Well, good morning. I really want to offer this. Whenever I'm working with people and wanting to see healing, I often just come up with a vision that is simple, so that every time I think of them, I just bring up the same image, and perhaps I'm asking for healing for somebody and I see them dancing, or I see them playing with their grandchildren, or something I know that they would love, and that it shows their physical vitality and such, so that the prayer brings everything that I'm hoping for that person into that one vision. So in this sense, with this work, the vision I've been bringing forward is the one I offered the first time we met. And I'm just going to ask that we go into that again. So I ask us all to see ourselves sitting in a large circle together and breathing into our hearts. And as we ignite our heart flames, all of our heart flames are connected into one. And as we breathe out our love, it ignites one large fire of sacred center, of life force. And then as we are sitting in our circle, behind us comes all of the people that would be on this call, that if they had the moment to do it or knew about it, but you know that they truly would love to be here with us doing their prayers, and maybe they're doing their prayers elsewhere. And we see all that huge, huge circle of people, and more and more and more people will keep coming every moment, every day, as we continue to hold this space. And behind us are all our allies, all our angels, or maybe they're in between us, they're around us, all the ancestors, all the wise ones, and we are being given their energy and their strength, and helping us ground and helping us stay protected and helping us feel positive in our work right now. And behind them are all the sacred sites of the planet and all the beauty of nature, enjoying their rest, enjoying their vitality, their whatever the word is, bringing everything back into them and healing from a time of quiet. And from that time of quiet, those sacred sites emanate this power, not only towards us, but into the earth and out to the cosmos, letting the earth feel their healing, and the cosmos feel the call that this planet is calling out to now. And they're bringing in the healing of that cosmos. And now, as we all breathe together, we send first down into the earth our love and our healing, and we feel it go through the ley lines. We feel it go through the mycelium and connect to all people standing on this planet right now. Even if they're laying in a hospital bed, have them enjoy this energy coming into them as we breathe through our hearts from the cosmos and the earth out into our fire. That energy goes down into the planet, through the mycelium, and into the bodies of all beings. An awakening, a call, a seeding for everyone to understand, to wake up and become aware of our oneness, aware of our potential as humanity to change this and shift this and make this something even better and higher. We're also calling on all of the plant medicine and the rock people and all of the nature spirits in their assistance. And now let's take a big heart breath and into the circle and send it up into the heavens and see the grid of the planet, the web of life surrounding Mama Earth and lit up and being woven and healed in many, many places through our love, all the love of the beings and all the care, ours and the unseen ones and everything combined to help heal this web of life. And as we look at that, we see the pearls where each place where the web connects light up and sparkle and shine like the stars above us, calling in the highest form of cosmic energy and consciousness of kindness and love to connect with us through this web of life, through all of these imaginings, and down into our minds, our hearts, and our spirits, and our bodies. And may we feel the protection of that and the guidance. And may we feel our oneness. Aho.
Thank you, Kalita.
This is not the situation where I can have one little vision of someone dancing. It's got to be a little more complex, but that's what I'm thinking about when I think of, when I go to fear, I change it and shift it to this vision.
Beautiful.
I can't find where to raise a hand.
Well, you just unmuted yourself, so why don't you go ahead, Nikki?
Okay.
Hi, Nikki.
You know, hi. Thank you for doing this. It's really important and has become much more important to me personally because it's really suddenly hit close to home. We have a son across the river that came down with symptoms, and my daughter was supposed to go to Amsterdam to be with the brother that just found her that she didn't know, and now he has it in Amsterdam. And I'm just realizing that it's not something that's out there. It's something that we're all connected to in some way. And these prayers are just so important. And I'm not feeling very talkative right now, but I want to add my prayers, because the more of us that pray together, the more powerful and potent our prayers are, and the farther they extend. So thank you for adding yours. Oh.
Nikki, should we take a moment and talk about the pipe ceremony? Yeah, you're still unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes. It's a council pipe that I've had I've carried since 1974. And it's times like these when I feel it's really important to take it out in a public way. So I'm going to be doing a pipe ceremony and allowing everyone to pray through this pipe next Saturday. However, I understand Zoom has been compromised, so I have to wait until I know that it's clear or find another platform.
Well,
And
as
if I can't in time, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if all is
Say,
well, we'll. It's funny. As soon as you said Zoom was compromised, the signal went wonky. Hi, Zoom, out there watching. We pray to you. If all is well with Zoom, we can do it at this time here and bring that prayer forward using this format. But we'll let everybody know.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Who else has a prayer? Lori, I see your hand is up. You are unmuted.
Thank you. I pray for all of life and death. Those dying alone, may they feel love. May they know peace. May they be remembered. For the children, those yet to come and those coming now, may they experience the sweetness of life. May they have pristine nature, clean air, pure water. May they pray for many generations to come, committed to leaving the earth a better place for future generations. I pray for the birds. I pray for the rivers. I pray for the mountains. I pray for the people who are scared. I pray for my health. I pray for the health and well-being of those I love. And I pray for humanity to come to love as the operating system, to teach each other kindness, to walk respectfully, to know humility, and be open to the change and opportunity in this transformation. I pray for our ancestors. I pray for them to teach us, to guide us. I pray for my teachers to instruct me and mentor me, and the guides and states of being that inform me, for clarity, for wisdom, for kindness, for peace, for all beings. Now, so it is.
Thank you, Lori. Who else has a prayer to offer?
Indigo,
Yes, Percy, go
I
ahead.
just muted myself. May I offer something quickly?
Yeah, please.
Um, uh, First, I agree completely with all the different prayers that I have heard. They all come, in my opinion, from a very good place, a very place of higher consciousness. But what I want to add to that, yesterday, I received an email about a major gathering of Native American elders, I think primarily women elders, that talked about the challenges facing us and what will be necessary if we want to save our planet and save the people on it and live lives worth living. I think some of you probably got the same email. Over the years, the last 40 or more years, maybe 50, I have heard of several of these type of gatherings. And they all say the same thing: what is going on wrong, what we will need to do to connect with our higher selves. I am praying that this time that we will, as planet, all the different souls on it will pay closer attention to the word of our elders that's been passed down for hundreds upon hundreds of how many years. And finally, gather the higher consciousness and the willingness to do the labor that will be necessary to overcome those facets of life that are holding us down and rise above it as an entire planet. And I thought I would just mention that in addition to what I've heard so far.
Thank you.
I'm praying for all of you and for all of mine and ours. And I think now I'll let somebody else have the floor.
Thank you. And Percy, perhaps you could add the information from that letter onto the Global Prayer Circle Facebook group so that everybody has benefit from what it's sharing, okay?
I hope so if I still have it. I have this tendency of deleting certain things after I read them. I'll look over my list.
Wonderful.
Good idea.
Thank you. Who else would like to offer a prayer? Julia?
Hello, I just unmuted myself.
Go ahead.
Percy reminded me that there, can you hear me? Are we
Yeah.
good?
Yes, go ahead.
You reminded me that there is a global meditation today. And for our timeline, it's at 7:45 p.m. I will, since it is today, can I put that on the chat form maybe and let people take
Yeah.
the connection of that off of there?
Yes, you can. And I also posted the connection to that on the Facebook group for this gathering. So
Okay,
you can find it there. And also, please do put it in the chat for us now. That would be great.
okay, I will do that. And then I just want to really offer this as well. If we can just for a moment go back into that circle that I was offering, that prayer, and just take a big breath to go there. And seeing people join us and join us and join us in our circle, getting larger and larger and larger. And know that whatever you're doing any single day, you could be pumping gas at the gas station. If you can take a moment and bring your consciousness back to that, you will realize we are constantly holding space for this light to come into our planet. Constantly. Every single moment, all of our cells, all of our beings, because of who we are. And every time you look, you'll see that the circle is bigger. So just try that. Try to be doing the most mundane thing, washing the dishes, whatever, and see if you can come back to that in your consciousness and realize you're doing that right now. We all are, every moment, every day. That's all.
Thank you, Kalita. So I see Julia has her hand, and then Deanna. And you are unmuted, Julia. Go ahead.
Thank you. I really just want to say that something that's helped me through my time and troubles, and I feel the energy on this earth at the moment is really, if you just have one or two negative thoughts, it seems to pull you into that direction, and just it can be overwhelming. It can swamp you. And what I'm feeling that I'm doing is sitting still, sitting really, really still, and blanking my mind completely, letting no thoughts come in, and then centering myself into my heart center and connecting with source. And when I do that, I feel the strength, and I feel that everything becomes so clearer, and my energy field becomes so clearer, and all the things and the negative thoughts that were pulling me down. I mean, if you just thought about them a couple of times, they seem to have increased strength just now because of everybody's fear, with the collective fear around the planet. But we have not to allow ourselves to be pulled into that collective fear, and that we have to take time each and every day to center ourselves, bring ourselves back to ourselves, so that we're not getting pulled into that fear that is encompassing quite a lot of people at the moment. And so instead of being pulled into the fear, we center and we bring in the light and we bring in the love and we shine it out through us so that it just explodes. And the negative things that are pulling you just disappear as soon as the light hits it, so that it just explodes further and further out. So I just wanted to share that, so that anyone that does feel the fear, does feel overcome by it all, just to do that, just to sit, center, and feel source again. Thank you.
Deanna, I will unmute you just a moment. Go ahead, Deanna.
Thank you, Indigo.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Diana. I live in Ipswich, UK. I just wanted to offer a prayer from Dr. Murdo MacDonald Bain. I do not know any prayer in my own language. I asked around, but people I asked could not offer anything but just normal Catholic prayers, which I didn't really resonate with. I wanted more people's prayers in terms of Catholicism, but they couldn't find anything, neither could I. Google could not help. So I settled on this prayer, which resonates deeply with me, and I hope it will resonate with all of you as well. Your prayers should now be in the affirmative, claiming what you say to be true, a fact, an actual reality. This prayer fulfills your every need. Loving Father, this is thy holy temple, thy perfect dwelling place from which radiates thy love, wisdom, and power to all thy children. I'm filled with thy mighty healing power, thy inspired wisdom and divine love, and I am glorified in thee. My eyes and ears are open whereby I see and hear, and my mind receives thy eternal truths. For thou hast proclaimed me thy perfect instrument for thy great and glorious work, that thy will, which is done in heaven, shall also be done on earth. Amen. May the divine blessing of truth abide in you now and forevermore. I and the Father are one life, one God, one people, one family, living in love and peace. Live in the realization and recognition of your oneness with me, and as you know me as I am, so shall you be. Meditate upon this daily till the burning sun of the eternal reality bursts forth in your soul to consume you in the allness of its immortal love, wisdom, and power. Love and peace be with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have time for maybe one or two more prayers. Does anybody else have anything to offer today? Lori, go ahead. You're unmuted.
Video. Tell who you are.
Hello,
Say who you are, though, because they don't know.
this is Mitch,
Hi, Mitch.
posing as Lori. In the presence of Sekhmet recently, something came through. Well, a whole bunch of things have come through. And given that Sekhmet is sort of the administrator of some of these catastrophes, I thought it'd be worthwhile listening to her. Have seen this image? This star
Wait.
flower?
Hold it.
Lori's helping me here. Some of you may have seen this picture. So you notice it has a peculiar shape and little buds sticking off of it. It's a corona.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, if you can just see in front of you the earth, see the earth with your classic corona SARS-2 over that sphere with the ugly little buds, right? Those ugly little buds trying to turn beautiful. See each of those little buds turn into a blue lotus.
Mm.
Each little bud sticking off that virus, a blue lotus. And in that lotus emerging ever present, the babe of consciousness here and now. and see you go through that virus, through that sphere, and you see the center come into clarity, into a flower of life, the star, the sun, the radiating sphere of the flower of life. And from that flower come blue lotuses, budding, each with a beautiful babe of consciousness inside. And you see that going through the virus, through the corona, through those little buds turning into blue lotuses, that the virus is a pathway to manifesting your true self, that spirit and matter are one, cycling just like you breathe in and out, and that virus is a pathway to something good for us all, because it's the reality of what we have. And Ma'at never tells us what we should do. Ma'at just says, yep, this is the way it is. Go through it, find the truth, stay dynamic, pay attention, be spontaneous, step forth like the fool in trust. And remember, the strength of the healing comes from your core, from the sun within you, and that being some call Sekhmet. And she tells you your strength comes from love, from knowing each other, from paying attention, to being responsive with respect. And that when you do that, all you can do is trust. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitch. I added you to the map, Mr. Mitch. So today we've come to 12:03, and I'm wondering if there's any last words that need to be shared from any of you out there. Brief words. Yes, go ahead, Nikki.
I had the TV on in the background, and I noticed that they just announced that the pregnant fiance of the Prime Minister of England has tested positive for coronavirus. And it just really brought home how vast this pandemic. And it just makes me really sad. And I want to pray for those people especially those people who are alone. Like I have a daughter who's alone, and we're having groceries taken to her and stuff like that. And I mean, there's just so much sadness right now. And I just pray that we can convert that sadness into hope and prayers for all our relatives throughout the planet that are suffering right now and alone. Thank you.
Anita, you're unmuted. Go ahead. Oh, maybe.
Just quickly, hearing Nikki made me think that it has been said so many times that only the older people, like, are in danger, and the ones that have immune systems and so on. And in my area, we're not near as bad off as many other places, of course, here in New York. Sorry. We've had a child. Now, I'm sorry, I don't know the age of the child. I missed that part. Has died. And we've had another child not too far away from us that has been diagnosed. So the fear that people think that it cannot affect certain, dynamics of individuals, I don't think it's true. But I do think that fear, and I wanted to comment on what was that boogaboo. I think I've stopped watching news because it pulls that energy down for me. That's for me. And I think that our biggest lesson today from what everyone has said, and reminder, maybe more than lesson, is the more we can lift our energy. And I would love a copy of that symbol, Mitch, too, by the way. It's going to be the best energy that we can input into the dynamics at this time. And the more we add, the better it will be. Because I think that if
don't think
everyone
I've
would
said his name. or
thinking. No, I didn't mean you said Mitch. I meant the symbol that Mitch was showing earlier. I'm sorry. But I think that we've said a lot of things today that are so significant. And I just wanted to say that I want to thank everybody because they brought out some very important points and some realities. We can't get away from the reality, but we can change how we allow ourselves to fall into the darkness. Want of a better way of putting it. I've been in that mess. I was very depressed for a long time, and I was very personally angry at what it was doing to my life. And I know everybody probably has been that place, and it's been a struggle to pull out of it. And yes, there's still a lot out there, and there's still a lot to go. But I just wanted to say that I think people in what we can put out as more spiritually oriented, maybe higher levels. I don't know what you would want to, what titles you want to use. But the more we can put out to our friends and the more love that we can put out there, the better things, the more balance I think we'll bring in. And I'm kind of losing where I wanted to go with that, but I hope everyone can understand. And I think that this prayer circle has done a lot. I know it's done a lot for me. Without it, I'd probably still be wallowing in my own self-indulgences. I'm not perfect, and I still go back there, but I'm trying very hard not, and I guess dynamic. So I just wanted to say that. Hopefully this will be over sooner than later, but unfortunately we have to go through it, and I think that eventually we will see something come out of it. So thank you.
Indigo, may I say something very quickly because I've already talked a couple times. Okay. By the way, you're muted.
Yes, I said
Okay.
very quickly. Yes, please.
What Nikki was saying about wanting things to get more positive, of course we all do. We will get through this because human beings have gotten through everything from the bubonic plague, SARS, the AIDS panic. We will get through it. But what I'm thinking of right now, millions upon millions of businesses are shuttered. Of course, it doesn't take a doctorate in economics to understand that a lot of those businesses will never be able to get back on their feet. We may end up with more unemployed people than percentage-wise than we've ever had any time in our country's history, maybe the whole world. And so our compassion and our education, our ideas, our actions, our labor, we're going to have to deal with that one, and we're going to have to get more into the idea of sharing and deeper ideas about how to rebuild certain parts of our society which will need the rebuilding. I'm certainly not an expert, but I wanted to bring that up. That's the end of my comment. Thank you so much for having us today.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to raise my hand, but I'm not seeing it.
Okay, you're unmuted again, Nikki.
Okay.
So go ahead, Nikki, and then I'm going to bring us to a completion, okay? Go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to say that we have access to medicine don't necessarily have. Like when my daughter told me about her relative in Amsterdam, she's having to send him medicine. So if you're connected with people overseas, you might want to check and see if they actually are prepared and have what they need for this. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Deep breath. I just want to share a few more words from my own heart to end our call today. I've been thinking a lot about surrender, what it is to surrender. How do I surrender? I've been working on a newsletter writing about the great pause, and I'm busy writing, busy thinking, busy trying to figure out, busy as I'm trying to explore the idea of this great pause. And I'm not pausing. I'm at my home, I'm at my farm, I can't go anywhere, but I'm not pausing. So what does that really mean? How do I really embrace this time of a great pause if this is so busy trying to figure out what may potentially be in some unknown future time? And so it brings me back to this idea of surrender. How do I arrive into surrender? And so the prayer, I think, that comes from that is this: just as when I let go of my breath, I surrender that air to the whole. I surrender myself, to my family, to my community, to this prayer circle, to this globe, to Allah. I surrender any knowing that I think I might have about what is yet to be, and I let that go, because I don't know. And so I arrive here, and now, and now, and now, surrendering what was, surrendering what will be, to arrive. And I pray that in that arriving, we each can begin to fully live, because living is right now. It's not before, it's not after, it's here. Whether we're washing the dishes, or playing with our children, or being all alone, or connecting on a prayer call together across the globe. Whether we're in a little apartment or on a big farm. Whether our circumstances are dire and difficult or abundant and full, we can fully live. And I invite us all to fully live in this time, because it's out of this place that our choices come, from our heart, from the truth that we truly do want to serve the whole of humanity and the whole of the globe, the whole of life. And so I surrender to whatever it is that this life is pulling me forward into, whatever Allah is filling me with. And I ask for the light for myself and for all of you, so that we can light up this world and humans can remember that we are caretakers of this precious planet. It's here to help us, and we're here to help it in a perpetual cycle of love. And so that is my prayer, and I invite us all to surrender into this place of now. And so it is. We've had our third global prayer circle. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to all of you out there who are listening to this later, after this moment, in your now, whenever that is, thank you for your presence and adding your heart into all of this. I've updated my Zoom. I don't know what's going on with Zoom. There's someone said in the chat that they put out a bug to create a fix, so make sure you update your Zoom. But I've updated it to 500 people, so we can get up to 500 people registered for this and have that many people on. So share it with your friends and your family, and if this is something they want to participate in, I would love that. And then the last few kind of businessy kind of things, I guess. Next week, as Nikki was sharing, we're gonna bring in this beautiful pipe and the tradition that she's been given and has been carrying with this, and the prayer then will include all of us. And then when that's over, depending on what our time is, we'll add in whatever other prayers are here. And that made me think that if there's somebody you know that holds a faith in a strong way, because maybe they're a church leader, maybe they're an Indigenous leader, maybe they're just someone who prays in a really beautiful way, and you want them to have a time to offer something special, let me know, and let's see where this goes. And then the last little bit that I guess I want to touch on, and then we'll go, because I know that I'm dragging this past my agreements, is that if we want this to become a place where we begin to have dialogue and ideas and going beyond just the sharing of prayer, that's okay. But I want to make sure that there's agreement amongst all of us that there's a time for praying and a time for talking, because there's a difference, and there's a difference, and talking is praying in a way, but it's different when we're talking about information and sharing of facts and this kind of thing. So I don't have a preference. I just began to hear a shift today in that, from just a pure prayer to something a little more. And if we're going to go into that, let's touch base on that and think about it, if we want this to be just pure prayer or if we want to be able to talk more. And then we'll structure it however the consensus of the whole is. And I think that's it for me for today. I love you all very much, and I pray for each of you every day, and for your families, and for all the communities on this beautiful, precious planet we have. So let me unmute us all, and then we'll have our reverberation of goodbyes and thank yous, and we'll see you next week.
Love you.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Best of everything, everyone.
Masalam.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Gaia Healing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love and light and blessings to all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye for
Be
now.
well.
Be well. Thank you, Kalita. Carmela.